Hey y'all, I am back again from traveling in Brazil. But yes, let's get into it. This is my review for the Real Housewives of Potomac, episode 12. Today is Sunday while I'm reviewing this, so I'm trying to catch up for tonight's episode. But we open with Karen doing her improv show. This is the first one she did. She's with her husband Ray and her producer slash assistant Matt, and she's just going over the walkthrough of the show. She's having it at DC Improv. It's a little comedy club. It looks like an easy setup for her to sell out. Like if me and Alex ever went on tour, I would definitely want to do this type of setting. So far, she's doing everything right because it's easy to sell out a place like this, so there ain't gonna be no empty seats. I think it was very smart of her to have entertainment during this show. So it's basically gonna be like a little variety hour hosted by Karen. Child, not them throwing shade at Michael Darby already. Karen is saying this is going to be kind of like a gay-focused show. It's the beginning of Pride Month. They have a drag queen performing. It's Jasmine Masters. Shout out to her. Ray is saying something about it's going to be like a grinder show. Not Ray. But that's how Michael Darby's name comes up. Karen seems like she don't seem to care. She's like, hey, as long as there's some ass in the seats and I'm getting paid, I don't care who come in here. But let's be honest, we know Karen's always going to be the Bravo audience, which is women and gay men. Next scene, we're with lion-ass Mia and her family. We see that Jacqueline, her best friend, is coming over to visit. They're all in the kitchen drinking some wine, and Mia jokes, oh, well, allegedly, like, you're with my gentleman. So then we cut to Mia's confessional, and she's saying that Jacqueline is kind of like our sister wife with no benefits. What? See, this is the clown stuff I'm talking about. Like, I want to look at Miami. Like, Potomac, I don't care about stuff like this anymore. Like, once you see some real, like, good housewives, watching Potomac now, I'm just like, ugh. Really? This juvenile stuff? And you know the Green-Eyed Bandits is the one stirring the pot. Like, if they do dabble, that's their business. Already, this scene is awkward. They're talking about the placement of seating right now in their own house. Like, Gordon is saying, oh, should I be in the middle? Like, isn't that weird Jacqueline's in the middle? So now they're both discussing in front of G being grilled about them messing around with each other and Jacqueline messing around with Mia's husband. Why are they talking about showering together right now? Why? They're just perpetuating this idiotic rumor. If it's not true, then just be firm with the Green-Eyed Bandits and the rest of the nosy ass ladies and say, me and my friend are not screwing around with my husband. Me and my husband be screwing around with other women. Like, just make it clear. Yeah, this scene is nonsense, y'all. They're not talking about the car or whatever, the rumor. They're not really clearing anything up. They're just discussing the rumors about them and laughing about it. Man, I'm kind of glad I missed this episode because this is going to be a quick review. So next scene, we're with Ashley, and it looks like to be her real friends outside of the show. One of those friends is the infamous Sesame Street character, Deborah, who we saw earlier in the season at Ashley's house. Oh, and look who's joining. It's Giselle. But I thought Ashley said PYTs, because Giselle, she's a POT, a petty old thing, a pot, if you will. These other ladies at the table are clearly auditioning for a friend of spot on the show. So Giselle, remember, she's a producer herself, so she gets the conversation rolling about the spring fling. She wants to know what happened between Ashley's friend and Chris. So Deborah, she has let the table know what happened, and while she's explaining it, we got production with the footage and audio. So in the case of her line, we have production going, this is what actually happened. So she's definitely putting 20 on 10 on this story. She's saying that she was just at the bar minding her business and Chris just waltzed on over and just kneels on the bar, starts staring at her. We cut to production. Chris is doing nothing of the sort. He's at the bar. I mean, they're across from each other, but he's not looking at her. He's looking at his phone. And it looks like Deborah is the one who engaged him. And then she talks about the conversation they had, and she's still trying to make it seem like Chris was talking to her in a flirtatious manner. Like when she says, oh, my husband's name is Chris, she then says Chris told her, oh, well, you know, Chris is a popular name. Well, it is, Elmo. Hi, my name's Chris as well. The fuck? Now pause right quick. I'm looking at this Deborah character. You know, a lot of people have been making fun of her looks, but the thing is, I mean, she's not ugly. She just doesn't have soft facial features. Like, she really has exaggerated hard features. Like, she has a strong chin and some like real hard man cheeks. And then those eyes, like she has like some real witchy poo eyebrows or something. Like, it's a lot. It is a lot. Like, when you put all that together, it can make for something not conventionally attractive. Y'all hear what I'm saying? So she's not ugly. She's just not pretty. So now her saying Chris flirting wasn't enough, she says Eddie, Wendy's husband, comes over, calls him Happy Eddie because he comes over laughing. Ninjas can't even laugh anymore, y'all. Now, why gotta be Candace and Wendy's husbands at that? I mean, y'all just keep fueling the fire for this colorist argument. And of course, y'all trying to mess with the women who are happily married because the one is living with her roommate and the ones that don't have a man, they seem to be miserable. And you know what? I am a feminist to the core. You don't need a man to be happy, but don't be hating on women in happy marriages just because you don't got one. So then Deborah tries to make it seem like Eddie was flirting hard with her too. She is very parched right now, and it's given high desperation. And the gag is, isn't Deborah married? Like, she the one introducing herself to other people's husbands. Like, why didn't she bring her husband to the event? Now, Ashley, I've been in your corner all season, but you wrong for this. You wrong for facilitating this mess, and you wrong for putting your friends out on Front Street to get roasted on social media. We cut to Ashley's confession. She said she's known Deborah for a year and a half. Girl, you hardly know her. I have friends from 12 to 22 years, but you're saying, oh, you trust this woman you've known for a year? But she said all her friends were there during this flirtation and none of them are liars. Okay, Ashley. Ooh, we gonna get you at the reunion too. I really hate that these ladies have me in a constant position this season to defend Candace because of all this bullshit they're giving us. Like, we are halfway through the season and they're giving us bullshit. So now Ashley's saying, oh, do I have to talk to Wendy now? Because Wendy's husband was laughing and being happy around people. Ashley, please be concerned about your own glass house right now. Like, your coot has embarrassed you season after season after season, okay? You worry about that. So next scene we're with Wendy and her family, and yes, the scene is boring until they're having a conversation about Wendy's lunch with Ashley the other day, and she was talking to her about, what she heard from her friends and calling him Happy Eddie. That scene was so pointless that they made it a flashback. So Wendy's telling her husband what Ashley told her. They called him Happy Eddie, and he was being too smiley at Ashley's Sesame Street character friend. I mean, hey, if I see Elmo, I'm gonna smile. I'm just saying. But yeah, they are laughing about it. They don't take this seriously at all. Like, Eddie's like, oh, so I can't smile. I can't smile anymore. I'm glad they have a tight relationship and they're secure in their marriage. We cut to Wendy's confessional. She's saying, of course Eddie's happy. I mean, look what he got. Yes, girl, happy and this. We remember. So next scene, we're with Mia and the Green-Eyed Bandits meeting up for lunch. So they're all discussing how they're going to Karen's upcoming show, but then Giselle, the good friend she is throwing Karen under the bus by telling her what Karen said about Mia. To be fair though, it was very messy of Karen to go run tell that to the other OGs that Mia was putting a flashlight up Jacqueline's vagina. We see in a flashback they were all laughing about it, and of course the Green-Eyed Bandits are going to report that to Mia. Again, is this the drama? Is this the drama we are watching from week to week? It's just like when you have a really good franchise that's on right now running at the same time. Like, of course I'm going to compare, and what's going on in Miami just makes this look like petty bullshit. So now Mia's explaining herself to them, and they're asking her follow-up questions like, were you in the dark? Was she itching? Like, just messy shit, okay? And Mia's like, oh, I just got the flashlight for theatrical reasons. I wanted to get the tongs. The irony in all this is I know Robin has probably seen Giselle's cooch, and they're just fascinated because someone else is doing the things that they do. The Green-Eyed Bandits, they confront Mia with the tea that she slept with Peter's girlfriend. By the look on her face, she really don't like that Karen shared that. So Mia's clarifying. She's saying that Gordon did not sleep with Peter's girlfriend. Basically, they just did some things and It was on their wedding night too. Not on their wedding night because Robin corrects her and says, oh, the night before her wedding. So they had a whole threesome before their wedding with Peter Thomas' girlfriend. Got it. And to top it all off, Peter Thomas' girlfriend was a bridesmaid in her wedding. Giselle and Robin are getting a key out of this. Mia don't even realize that they're all laughing at you. Like they're all just making a joke of you. You're a joke to them. And they're both just throwing Karen under the bus like they weren't all just kikiing about it. So clearly Mia is now pissed at Karen for running and telling her business. So then she teases to the Green-Eyed Bandits that she knows the reason why Karen ain't talking to Charisse right now. Now, she doesn't tell them the reason, unfortunately, but she does hint to them that she definitely knows why. So next scene is the night of Karen's live show. We see everybody arriving and Karen getting situated. It looks pretty legit. They have a decent setup. All her merchandise is out. And there's actually people in line for the event. Okay, so we see Giselle walking up to the event. She looks good. Finally. She doesn't look tacky. But then, as she's going downstairs, someone mistakes her for Karen. She had to correct them, no, I'm Giselle. So I can already see what's going to happen in this scene. While Karen's show is going on, you're going to have Robin and Giselle critiquing her event like Karen did theirs in the last episode. Giselle says she still doesn't get the idea of Karen's show, and to her credit, Karen has been doing a bad job of explaining it. All she has to say is, I'm hosting a variety show. Okay, that's all it is. Like, because she's having other people entertain, she's having a Q&A, and she's having a little panel discussion as well. So it's just a variety show. So all the ladies are arriving, and of course Ashley brought her friend Deborah because she knows that Candace and Wendy are going to be at this event. You know what? I just noticed that Candace has not been in this episode yet, and I'm like 37 minutes in. Honestly, I didn't even notice, y'all. I'm not even being shady. Speaking of which, now we're with Candace at her house. It looks like her mom is joining her at Karen's event. I love Candace's mom. I love Miss Dorothy. Too bad I don't like Candace. And speaking of which, I hate this pink hair look again. Get it off my TV screen. This is not a good look for you, Candace. You've had much better hairstyles than this. Candace says she also doesn't know what Karen is doing in this show. She just says, oh, she's hosting an event? Is it comedy? Karen clearly just did a bad job of explaining this all around. Candace, I like this dress you have, like the neon green, but these pink shoes and that purse, no. So Candace and her mom arrives, and I'm looking at the table. Candace don't really fuck with nobody like that. Like Ashley, Giselle, Mia, Jacqueline. Where's Wendy? I see what's going on here. Like, it's very easy if they wanted to ice Candace out. But good thing she brought her mom with her. So all that's missing is Wendy, Robin, and Charisse. And speaking of which, they were saying that Charisse wasn't invited to this. So much so that Karen made a whole different group chat inviting everybody and intentionally leaving Charisse off. So then we see Messy Ashley throw Candace under the bus, letting Mia know that she told him about the flashlight story. Then Jacqueline confirms and said it was a yeast infection. Oh, Mia was like, well, I left that part out. So everybody's waiting for the show to start, and we see that Karen has a packed house, and she says, no comp tickets here. Now, to be fair, Karen, like, I think she got a smaller venue, whereas Giselle and Robin, they had a whole auditorium. I'm thinking this is where the Green-Eyed Bandits should have had their live podcast. Oh, and here go Robin, arriving late like she always do. So as Robin sits at the table, she informs Candace that the girl at the end of the table, that's Ashley's friend who allegedly Chris was flirting with. So then we see Wendy and Eddie arrive, and the show finally starts. But it doesn't start off with Karen, it starts off with the comedian first. Now, when I saw her, I think Karen came out first, and then we had a comedian come out who was unfunny, I might say, which you can hear coughing in the audience. He was really bad. Production is on their usual bullshit, saying like Act 1, Act 2, in this little 1920s old school font. The ladies are still confused about what's happening, but then we see Karen finally come to the stage to greet the audience. The ladies are currently roasting Karen right now, saying that, oh, I thought this was a one-woman show. Oh, she's just hosting this? And then production is getting in on it and clocking in Karen's stage time. So far, her stage time has been 52 seconds. Okay, so now we have the performance from Jasmine Masters, and production lets us know in their own fun way that they are not clearing the song that Jasmine is performing. Okay, so after that, Karen comes back out with the outfit change, and now this is her Hot Topics Q&A section. So I liked the Q&A when I saw her, but the little Hot Topics panel thing, it was kind of weird because she was asking the audience like different questions that was kind of just basic and whack. I think she should just stick to the Q&A because I think people want to engage with Karen. That's the reason why most people came. So they're on the Q&A portion, and Messy Mia raises her hand. She stands up. She asks Karen, what if you have a friend, you share something with her, and then that friend goes back to tell her other friends? And of course she's referencing what Karen did to her. Now, the Grande Dame, who's usually quick on her feet, she was a little taken aback by Mia asking her this question in front of everybody. But she tells her that it's not like I said a lie. Like, anything I said about you, Mia, it was true. Mia then fires back like it's her moment. She still has the microphone. She's like, well, transparency is key. So if I tell you something, don't go and run and tell these two. The audience, of course, is loving this. And hey, if I was there, I would be enjoying it too. So then Karen, she tries to end the conversation. She says like, I'm not perfect. I'm going to try to work on it. I'm really surprised Karen didn't have something quick for Mia to shut her down, but it looks like, you know, she wasn't expecting that and she was caught off guard. Not Build-A-Puss. Come on, Karen. Build-A-Puss? All right, so it looks like the show is winding down, and Messy Production, they let us know that the show time so far was 75 minutes, and of 29 of those minutes, Karen was on stage. Now, I'm sure Karen is the one who's going to get paid the most from this, but to her defense, I mean, her name was the one that sold the tickets, and yeah, it was a variety show, so I guess we shouldn't have expected to see Karen all 75 minutes. But that's up to y'all if y'all want to go and see and support Karen. It was free for me, and I probably wouldn't have spent more than $40 to see this. So we're back at the table with the other ladies, and Messy asked Ashley, oh, Candace, I forgot to introduce you to my friend Deborah. We see what you're doing, Ashley. Candace says, oh, this is your friend who said Chris was grabbing on her? Ashley corrects her and says, oh, no, Chris didn't grab her. Yeah, that was messy-ass Giselle that added that in. So now Deborah gives Candace the cliff notes of the flirtation that was coming her way from Chris, and also lets her know that he was flirting with her friends. Candace is calmly just shaking her head, just like, girl, please. And then we cut to Mia's confessional, and I'll give it to me, she's had some good confessionals this season. She says, you know, on a scale of 1 to 10, I'll give Candace and Wendy, they're like an 8+. Deborah, she's a 4. I mean, you know what, you gotta give it to Mia. She ain't a complete hater. Like Candace and Wendy, they're beautiful. So, especially compared to Deborah. They should not be worried about someone that looks like her coming on to their husbands. I mean, she's cute, but she's not cute. Oh, so the show not over. So we have Jasmine performing again, and production again lets us know that they are not paying for that clearance of the song. All right, so the show is over, and then we see Ashley trying to facilitate a conversation between Deborah and Candace. Now, come on, Ashley, just sit your messy ass down and worry about your bussy-grabbing husband, okay? Candace is like, nah, I don't need to talk to her. And then Deborah tries to approach Candace herself and says, oh, can we talk? Candace is like, no, ma'am, and gives her a big smile. Look, I am with Candace on this. Surprisingly, y'all know how I feel. But in this moment, she did the right thing. Do not engage with her. She is thirsty. She wants a moment. Just wait till the reunion so all the receipts will be present and accounted for. I must say, Candace was really smart about this situation for once. Cut the Candace confessional. She's like, go read some numbers and the alphabet. Go read a book to a child. Candace then lets the other ladies know I am not talking to that Sesame Street ass looking bitch. And that is where the episode ends, followed by a black and white teaser of the next episode where the ladies go on their cash trip to Mexico. Oh, and next week's episode looks spicy. Oh, wait a minute. It's tonight. All right. So we see the fallout finally between Jacqueline and Mia, and then we see an explosive argument between Karen and Charisse to the point where they're cursing each other out, getting up out these seats. All right, well, I can't wait to review that. As far as this episode, I mean, it was alright. It was some messy BS. It was entertaining for what it was. Like, I'm glad I didn't rush to get to it because tonight's episode, yeah, that is must see. And I will have that out to y'all tomorrow. I promise. So with that, make sure y'all like, comment, and subscribe. And I will see y'all for the next episode. Bye.